Okay, so today is International Women's Day, and I'm making this video in dedication of my female icons that I have in life and who I look up to and who inspires me to be who I want to be. This video is kind of personal, kind of not personal. It's very opinionated, and my number one is an obvious reason, but do not get offended by the people I look up to. This is purely my opinion, and I felt like this was an important video to share. It doesn't have to do with this theme for this week, but it has to do with what this month represents, and I feel like that is very important to me. I might go off my fandoms, but there are some actresses and writers who do fit in the fandom universe. So I hope you enjoy this video. I understand if you don't want to watch it because it can get deep, and that sometimes isn't comfortable for some people to watch. So I'm saying this now. I will get into deep talk about some things, and you have been warned about it. So I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so number 5 on the list is Emma Watson. She is a well-known actress from the Harry Potter series, but I don't look up to her because she was Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter series. I look up to her for who she is or who she presents. Emma Watson is very opinionated. Well, let me rephrase that. She knows her stuff, and she is okay with saying what she believes in. It's like when she made that whole speech for feminism, and then people reacted very poorly to that and threatened to release her nudes, which was not cool. Don't do that. Anyways, I look up to Emma Watson because not only is she very opinionated, not only is she well educated, but she also, how do I phrase this? She is very kind, I guess you could say. I mean, I haven't seen many interviews with her in them, but by the way she presents herself and the way she's in the news sometimes, it doesn't seem like she thinks she's better than everyone else. Like, she might, and that is totally okay because some people are like that, but she seems like a decent person, just like all the cast members are. But she didn't originally want the role of Hermione. And I feel like that should show that sometimes you need to take risks, or you need to do something that might be out of your comfort zone, because who knows? You might end up being very successful in life. Another reason why I look up to Emma Watson is because I am afraid to speak my political opinions, and when she came out with that whole speech, it made me realize that maybe I should talk about my opinions more often, because it's something I've always been kind of scared to do, and I feel I need to make more of that risk. Number 4 is J.K. Rowling, and once again, this is another Harry Potter person. I look up to J.K. Rowling because she has had her ups and downs in life, and I've had my ups and downs in life. I'm not always there with some of my feelings, and I don't really know how to describe some of my feelings. And J.K. Rowling took those feelings and she put them in her books, and I want to do that. She put a piece of her in everything that she wrote, from Hermione's smartness to the rudeness of these Slytherins. Those were her experiences, and I feel that makes her more of a person that you can relate to. Because she was struggling with depression throughout the entire series as she was writing it. She was struggling with depression before the series because of her issues in her past. That shows that you can carry on. And she might not have been in the best of place. And you can actually tell by her writing, because the writing gets a lot darker when it gets dark for her. And that's when, you know, as a reader, I could tell. And that's something that I appreciate in anyone, really, in anyone. I appreciate that because it shows everyone is human, and even if something might seem hard, you can get by it. So J.K. Rowling is one of my top icons because she didn't get over her problems, but she learned how to deal with them. And that's something that I need in life. And it's something that I want to learn how to do. Okay, so number 3 on the list. This isn't because of her new albums and how she is acting now. It's because of her past. My third icon is Demi Lovato. And this might seem strange because I don't really listen to her music that much. I mean, I listened to her Demi album like non-stop I think last year, maybe the year before that. And the reason why I look up to Demi Lovato so much is because she hit rock bottom. There's no lie in that. She hit rock bottom, but she found a way to help herself. Like, she went to rehab. She slowly started to recover from her eating disorder and her depression and what other problems she had, because I know there's another one, but I forget what it is. And that being her, and her coming up from the ashes and becoming someone else, and becoming someone who brings out this album that has so much emotion and has so much raw material in it. That is something that I want to be able to do. I want to come up from my ashes because I haven't hit rock bottom yet. And I feel like eventually I might, and that might help. But I want to be able to come up from that, to recover from that, and be something better than I was before. If that makes any sense whatsoever. I want to be able to live my life knowing it might be bad and it might feel like hell, but you can get better and you can recover and you can actually rebuild yourself from whatever happened. And that's something I see in her, because she is just some singer who has a lot of showing of skin. But it's because she's more confident, and I like that in her. But I feel like how she's overcome this, how she went from being so insecure to being who she is now, that shows something. And you might hate her for it. You might hate her for how she reveals her skin. But I see it as accepting who you are. And that's the difference between how I see it. I might not like her choices, but I like seeing how she overcame her problems. I guess that's why I look up to her and why she's my third icon. Okay, so my second female icon has been around for about 10-ish years, maybe 11, and it's Carrie Underwood. I can't get into deep description of why she is my second icon, but she wasn't originally going to try out for American Idol. She was going to go to college. She was going to give up her dream of singing, but she went to that audition and she made it, and she made it all the way. And it might seem weird for me to look up to her because she's gone so far and she's so successful, but she didn't lose her faith during that process. And I am someone who struggles with my faith very often. But when I listen to her music and I listen to the emotion and the meaning to it, it helps me find my way back. It helps me find a way back to who I was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It helps me become a better person. And it helps me also restore the connections I had with the people around me. Whenever I listen to her music, I feel something. And I feel something that's touching, that's good, that's sad, that's painful, that's relatable. But those feelings help me in so many ways. They help me recover, they help me restore, and they help me move on. And I know it's cliche to say that Carrie Underwood saved my life, but honestly she did. Because I don't know where I would be if I didn't start listening to her music again. I really don't know where I may be right now. But I'm on my way back to my faith, and that's what's important, and her music is going to help me along that way. Okay, so my number one female icon, I may mispronounce her name, and I'm sorry if I do, but I'm not the best at pronouncing things. Okay, so my number one female icon is Malala Yousafzai. Words can't explain how I feel about this woman. For starters, the situation she lived in, I can never relate to. And it makes me feel petty about my problems. But then I realize my problems might be bad to me, but I can't compare it to anyone else's. But anyways, off track from there. She stood up for herself. She stood up for her society, to her society. And what she got in return was a bullet to the head, as harsh as that sounds. And the reason why I look up to her is because she fought for what she believed in. She continued to fight for what she believed in. And that's something that people kind of forget. They get rejected from what they want and they immediately just drop it. I've noticed it a lot. And I feel that she didn't do that. She continued to fight. She continued to stand up for herself. She continued. Even when they went against her and even when they shot her in the head, she still stood up and she still tried to change something. And that's something people need to try. They need to think about. They need to strive to do something. People tend to not act on what they believe in. And I am a very, very poor example on acting on what I believe in. But I'm trying to get there. And these people who I look up to help me do that. And especially Malala. Especially her. Because she showed me that I have a voice and I should use it. I have my actions and I should take them. And that is what is important. Of course, there may be people who have different opinions on this, and that's okay. But this is mine, and this is something I feel passionate about. So, those were my top 5 icons. Feel free to tell me yours. I'm very open to the fact of other icons. I want to hear yours. I want to. But don't be rude. Because it might seem weird for me to have an icon of the ones I've named, but that's for me personally. So share yours, and remember to like the video or dislike it. Comment any criticism on it, on this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I'm sorry if I got emotional during it. It's kind of a touchy topic, and it's hard not to get emotional during it. So, until I see you again, which will probably be in a couple days, I will be here at my house. So, ta-ta!